What's going on, everyone? This is Luke from South Beach Sports, and in today's video I'm going to discuss the 3 Miami Heat players who I think will exceed expectations next season. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. And guys, we're only 120 subscribers away from 1,000. That would obviously be a huge accomplishment for this channel, so if you enjoy my videos and you want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss a single video. Also, go ahead and comment down below which player that you think will exceed expectations next season for the Heat. The first player that I want to talk about today is Garrett, who funny enough finally signed his 2-way contract with the Heat this morning. And in the back of my mind, I was a little worried that Garrett would sign elsewhere, but luckily enough, he signed with Miami, so it's obviously a good thing. And the rules of the 2-way contract, as some of you guys might know, is that whichever player is on that 2-way contract can play up to 50 games with the respected franchise that signed them to that contract, and they would have to spend that other amount of time usually in the G League. So I'm fine with that, really. I mean, 50 games sounds like enough for Garrett, and when he's not playing with the Miami Heat, he would obviously be playing with the Skyforce, the Miami Heat's G League affiliate, and that's a great thing for him. It'll be a place where he can develop more of a well-rounded offensive game, and the Skyforce have historically been one of the best G League teams at developing talent for the NBA, so Garrett would definitely be able to refine his skills over there. So the reason why I think Garrett will exceed expectations next year for the Heat is just based off his amazing defensive abilities, which are just NBA ready off the rip. I always knew Garrett was a very good defender, especially from his years at Kansas. He won a Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award in 2020, and he was a 3-time Big 12 All-Defensive Team member. So coming into the Summer League, I always knew Garrett was a very good defender, but what he showed, especially in those first 2 games, just blew my mind. He averaged 5 steals a game in the first 2 games of the Summer League, which is crazy, and he was constantly picking up offensive players full court throughout the entire length of the Summer League. He was just annoying. He read passing lanes. He always knew when to attempt to steal. He always knew when to stay solid and play discipline, and Garrett honestly was, without a doubt, the best defender on that Miami Heat Summer League team, and I think he could play some key minutes as a defensive specialist next year for the Heat. Offensively, Garrett is still a project. He still doesn't have a reliable jump shot. His best offensive attribute is definitely attacking the basket, but from a playmaking perspective, he has some left to be desired for, and he'll obviously be developing all these skills mostly when he's a member of the Skyforce next year, so I'm glad that he's on a 2-way contract. But even though he's not the greatest offensive player in the world, he could still contribute very solid minutes at the NBA level. I mean, look at some of the guys like Bruce Brown, Patrick Beverley. These aren't necessarily great offensive players, but what they bring on the defensive level and from an energy point of view, they are key members to their team. And while I don't think that Garrett will necessarily play as big a role as Bruce Brown or Beverley will play for their respective teams this season, he could have a similar role off the Heat's bench. Now, the next player I want to talk about today is obviously a more high-profile player, and that's Bam Adebayo. And I think Bam Adebayo will take a leap offensively because of 2 factors. The first factor is he'll have a full offseason to really improve his jump shot, which is obviously his biggest weakness on the offensive end. And for the first time in his career, he'll be playing with a true point guard in Kyle Lowry, who will definitely put Adebayo in better positions to score the ball. I think the main takeaway that a lot of us had leaving that Bucks Heat series is that Bam Adebayo really needs to improve his confidence on that mid-range jump shot, especially when it comes time for the playoffs, because his inability to shoot that mid-range shot just closed off so many possible options in that Heat offense. The Heat obviously love their pick and roll sets, and when Bam Adebayo isn't shooting that mid-range shot, it just, like I said, it closes off so many options because whichever team is defending it can just sag off and drop coverage. And considering that one of the main pick and roll ball handlers for the Heat is Jimmy Butler, who's obviously a non-factor when it comes to shooting the ball, pairing that off with Bam Adebayo, who, when not shooting that jump shot, will just continuously roll to the basket, it really just closes off that offense, and oh my god, I'm just getting nightmares thinking about that Bucks Heat series. It closes off your offense and it forces everything to the basket, and that's really not that good because when you're playing a team like the Bucks, who have some of the best rim protectors in the NBA, and Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brook Lopez, that's going to be a problem. The thing is, though, Bam Adebayo has consistently taken steps upon steps upon steps every single year he's been in the NBA. He even took a step from year 3 to year 4 as he improved his free throw shooting, he improved his mid-range shooting in the regular season, and he only had an offseason of, I think, like 70 days. So given that he'll have a full lengthy offseason to really just work on his confidence and work on his confidence shooting the ball, so come playoff time, he feels very comfortable shooting that mid-range jump shot and maybe even a little bit further back. I'm not going to say he's going to add a three-point shot to his game anytime soon, but, if that happens, it happens, Given all of that, and like I said earlier, given that Kyle Lowry will now be the point guard for the Heat, and he will without a doubt be one of the best true point guards the Heat have had in some time, I think we could see Adebayo take that next leap into comfortable all-star / superstar status. I mean, if Adebayo can improve his points per game average to something like 22 to 23 points a game, he will without a doubt become one of the top 10 and top 15 players in the entire league. Now, the third and final player that I think will exceed expectations next year for the Heat is Gabe Vincent, who has definitely flown under a lot of Heat fans' radars. I think a lot of that is because Vincent did not appear in any of the Heat Summer League games. And for those that haven't or that did not watch him play for Team Nigeria in the Olympics, then they really haven't watched him at all since last season. I think skill-wise on the offensive end, Vincent is pretty well refined. I really like his shot. Like, he has some of the prettiest shot mechanics in the NBA. That really wasn't a reflection on his statistics last year, as he struggled from the field and from three. He only shot 38% from the field and 31% from three, but as he gets more playing time and as he becomes more comfortable within the Heat's offense next year, I expect those shooting splits to improve. And on the defensive end, Vincent was without a doubt one of the Heat's best perimeter defenders, and some of that is a testament to the lack of perimeter defenders that the Heat had last year. But without a doubt, Vincent is so aggressive on that defensive end. He's a hustler. He dives for every loose ball. He really fits that Heat culture prototype that Pat Riley and the rest of the Heat's front office and coaching staff love. And he'll definitely have the opportunity to receive good minutes next year. I mean, the Heat's expected backup point guard, Victor Oladipo, won't return until, I think, December to March. Like, that's the expected return range for Oladipo. So Vincent will definitely have an ample amount of time to prove himself as a solid backup point guard in the NBA. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Like I said earlier, if you enjoy the video and if you enjoy content like this, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below which player that you think will exceed expectations next year for the Miami Heat. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later. Peace.